Hello, I'm Shukla Choudhury and today I will take you through Silk Road. Come, let's travel together. And while we travel, I will keep on passing some informations about the special Silk Road. Well, the Silk Road was an ancient network of trade routes that connected the East and West. It was central to cultural interaction between the regions of many centuries. The Silk Road refers to both the terrestrial and the maritime routes connecting East Asia and Southeast Asia with East Africa, West Asia, and Southern Europe. The Silk Road derives its name from the lucrative trade in silk carried out along its length. Beginning in the Han Dynasty, the Han Dynasty expanded the Central Asian section of the trade routes around 114 BCE through the missions and explorations of the Chinese imperial envoy Zhang Qian. The Chinese took great interest in the safety of their trade products and extended the Great Wall of China to ensure the protection of the trade route. Trade on the road played a significant role in the development of the civilizations of China, Korea, Japan, and Indian subcontinent. Though silk was the major trade item exported from China, many other goods were also traded. Even religion, philosophies, science, technologies also. Disease, most probably plague, also spread along this Silk Road. In addition to economic trade, the Silk Road was a route for cultural trade among the civilizations along its network. In June 2014, UNESCO designated the Zhangtianshan corridor of the Silk Road as a World Heritage Site. The Indian portions on the tentative site list exist. The Silk Road's origin lay in the hands of the Chinese. The soil in China lacked selenium, a deficiency which contributed to muscular weakness and reduced growth in horses. Consequently, horses in China were too frail to support the weight of a Chinese soldier. The Chinese needed the superior horses that nomads bred on the Eurasian steppes, and nomads wanted things only agricultural societies produced, such as grain and silk. Even after the construction of the Great Wall, nomads gathered at the gates of the wall to exchange. Soldiers sent to guard the wall were often paid in silk, which they traded with the nomads. Past its inception, the Chinese continued to dominate the Silk Roads, a process which was accelerated when China snatched control of the Silk Road. Although the Silk Road was initially formulated during the reign of Emperor Wu of Han, it was reopened by Tang Empire in 639. The Tang dynasty established a second Pax Sinica, and the Silk Road reached its golden age, whereby Persian and Sogdian merchants benefited from the commerce between East and West. At the same time, the Chinese Empire welcomed foreign cultures, making it very cosmopolitan in its urban centers. In addition to the land route, the Tang dynasty also developed the maritime Silk Route. The Silk Road represents an early phenomenon of political and cultural integration due to interregional trade. In its heyday, it sustained an international culture that strung together diverse groups. The Silk Road consisted of several routes. As it extended westwards from the ancient commercial centers of China, the overland, the intercontinental Silk Road divided into northern and southern routes. Merchants along these routes were involved in relay trade, in which goods changed hands many times before reaching their final destination. The northern route travelled northwest through Chinese province and split into further routes. The southern route was mainly a single route from China through Karakoram mountains. The southwestern route is believed to be the Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta, which has been in the subject of international interest for over 2 millennia. Richard Fall, Xinro Liu, and others have discovered how trading activities along the Silk Road over many centuries facilitated the transmission not just of goods but also ideas and culture, notably in the area of religions, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity, and so many. Even Islam, they were all spread across Eurasia through these trade routes. Silk Road. I hope you have enjoyed this journey on the Silk Road. Yes, it's a nostalgic feeling when we think that many artistic influences were transmitted via this very Silk Road, particularly through Central Asia, where Hellenistic, Iranian, Indian, Chinese influences could just intermix. Greco-Buddhist art represents one of the most vivid examples of this interaction. Silk was also a representation of art, serving as a religious symbol. Most importantly, silk was used as currency for trade along this Silk Route. These artistic influences can be seen in the development of Buddhism, where, for instance, Buddha was first depicted as human. Many scholars have attributed this to Greek influence. The mixture of Greek and Indian elements can be found in later Buddhist art in China and throughout countries in the Silk Road. The production of art consisted of many different items that were traded along the Silk Roads from the east to the west. Actually, the Silk Road has a long history, and if I sit with all the details, it's hours and hours, and perhaps days and days. So we wind up. Hope you have enjoyed our journey through this Silk Road. Thank you. See you next week.